Hey guys and girls, welcome to this week's episode of the B.Invested Birchy podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Birch, and this is a show unraveling the truth to the facade of the 21st century. We're now exiting the matrix and waking up to motherfucking reality. And today I have a special guest. We've got Rob here, and I'm really excited because it's all about escaping the matrix, escaping the slavery system that we're all bought into. And Rob has got a very exciting and interesting journey on his front that he's been doing over the last few years. I still remember, Rob, the first time we were chatting, I was driving to Queensland. We're doing a map session. What year was it, like 2017 or something, was it roughly? Remember?
2015 or 2016. Yeah.
There we go. 10 years ago.
Yeah, I know. Time flies, huh?
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, Rob, and sharing your story. I think it's I can sit here and tell everyone how great buying property is and what I've been doing and all that sort of stuff. But I think it's always inspiring. Like, we all come from different walks of life. We've all got different challenges, different starting positions, and different things going on. And it's always good just to hear from another investor of what they're up to, what they've been doing, what challenges they've had. Sometimes I talk about, and it sounds too easy. Just buy 20 properties, should be all right. And it's always good just to share other people's journey. So thanks for joining, Rob. And
No worries, mate.
I
No.
I guess if you want to give everyone just a bit of a background, just on sort of where it is that you have come from, like where your starting point was and where you're at today, and challenge, whatever you feel like sharing, Rob. So
Yeah. So I started my property journey at 18. I bought a house before I bought a car. Started working 15 on and off, and then 16 full time. I saved every penny. And just had the goal of always had the goal of to buy as many properties as possible. Just didn't, I guess, understand why people didn't have that goal, I guess, and didn't achieve that. And then you learn, I guess, why, how hard it is to actually do. So, yeah.
I'm still questioning myself, Rob, because I see so many people over the years, and I think everyone should have like 10, 20 properties, right? And everyone's got challenges. We've all got, whether it's a family, work, life, personal, whatever. And I see people that have the ability to do it, and I'm just like, why aren't you doing it? It's like, I think the knowledge gap is what's missing from.
Maybe scared, nervous of, I reckon that's probably, the main thing.
Yeah. And I guess from your side, like, you started at 18. What was that property like?
House and land package back in the day.
Okay.
In a growth area, so it's done well. And then I bought the house next door. That was my next purchase. So, and moved on to off the plan. Bought a couple off the plan, and made that mistake. So, 10 years later, still they're worth 100K less than I bought it for. I had to sell one. So, still got one in the portfolio, but it's not worth what I paid for it in 2014, roughly. I bought it.
Oh.
So, yeah. Mm.
I remember when we first spoke that you said you'd had some adversity, and sometimes people will buy a bad property and go, "Oh, property is not for me. I'm not gonna, not gonna buy anymore. They must all be crap, whatever." But you've gone on and achieved a lot. I don't know if you're comfortable with sharing. Some people are comfortable sharing how many they're at, and some people aren't comfortable. Like, from your side, are you comfortable? Like,
so we sold one recently. So we're down to 16 now. But we're looking for this block of units that we've been talking about. So I feel like that's my end game now. So hopefully, getting close.
Yeah. So the block of units we're talking about, we're looking at what did you sell, Rob? What did you sell, by the way?
What do I sell?
No, what did you sell? What was the property you sold?
I sold a Woodridge. People want to look it up. I bought it 5 years ago. Look at the market. Bought it for 168, sold for 565. 5 years.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
At the time when you bought Woodridge, everyone would have been like, "Why are you buying it out here for? It's done nothing for a decade and shared it." Yeah.
It's like every property pretty much that I buy. Everyone says, "Why are you buying that?" So, yeah.
Yeah. So, and the block of units we were just chatting about before we hopped onto the chat. We're looking at a block of units for under 400 that you could basically buy cash, right? As I'm thinking about it, I was thinking off the back of the shops, right? I know that you wanted to talk about the shops. We'll maybe go into the shops a little bit later, but that market would be very similar to the shops, right? When you bought there, that would be a very good comparison. But these things, if it wasn't for you making that decision going back 5 years ago in buying in Woodridge, that wouldn't have given you the ability to sell it now, get the cash, and basically buy a block of units with cash today.
Correct.
Yeah.
But you should refinance if you can. That's obviously better, but sometimes you've got to let one go and move on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. And I guess when you came to us like 10 years ago, what was your initial goal? Like, did you have a goal of X amount of properties or X amount of cash flow?
Not necessarily have a number of properties, but to retire financially free. Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like it's within reach now?
Well, it is in reach, but I don't want to. I want to be able to keep my portfolio for my kids.
Yeah.
And still be able to retire. So, if I was to sell a property every year, well, I could retire. But right now, I'm trying to keep moving forward. So
yeah. Cool. And sometimes, like, if you get to 17 properties, 16 now that you've sold one, buy a block of units, we'll get to 20 soon with getting the next round of purchases. People think, Rob must be he's loaded, he's the CEO of a company on $6.5 million a year. Like,
no. Carpenter, wife, gaming attendant. She works at the pub, and I'm a carpenter. So two
everyday people.
Yeah. Definitely.
Cool. And as for like the size of the portfolio now, did you think when we spoke 10 years ago for the first time that you'd be where you are today or not?
Honestly, yes.
Yeah. You did?
I always had it in my head what I was going to do. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. But I didn't understand the mechanics behind it all. The serviceability is biggest key. As you say, you got to buy what the bank. It's not what you want; it's what the bank wants. So, So.
Okay. Cool. And like we're at 16 now. Buy a block of units. Cool. What motivates you to keep going? Like,
my kids.
The kids.
I got a boy who's got some difficulties. He's got epilepsy. That's drug resistant at the moment. He's got NF. He was born with a hole in the heart. He's got lots of problems. It's going to be a big year ahead of us. But so my goal is to
make sure
to set them up. So no matter what happens,
Now you're doing a good job at getting there. So
long way to go. Yeah, long way to go. So.
No, I mean like to financially, like you're doing a good job. You
I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. Yeah, doing my best. Few mistakes, but doing my best.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. And I guess from the properties, right? Do you have a favorite property that you've bought in the portfolio, or favorites, or?
Well, I love the properties that you have no hassles from. Woodridge wasn't one of them, and many others. But the numbers wise it's definitely the shops. What that's created for me. It was hard work trying to get tenants in, and had people leave and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, the shops. Well, we purchased the shops for 120,000. The size of the shops, it's over 80 squares of building. Yeah.
And
It's
how many shops were there?
so 3 titles. Sorry, it was 4 titles because one was a vacant block of land, which was a leasehold land.
Yeah.
3 titles, but 4 shops. So 4 doors, but 3 shops.
Yeah.
I had one that just recently, this week actually, they've called me up. They're moving out. But they were paying $385 for the 2 of them that I just wanted that rented out. One of them paid $325 a week, and another one pays $400 a week. So that's over $1,000. And then they pay all the outgoings on a 120 grand purchase. And with 3 titles, where the bank looks at it like that too. So then you can get the rent is fully, like a lot of it is actually covered by the banks. So for serviceability, it's fantastic. It's crazy.
Yeah. So $1,000 a week on 120 grand purchase, that's like 50%, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the rental yield's just crazy. And as you know, when they are rented out, that's when the value of the commercial asset is there. So yeah.
So
very
a 10% yield, there's a 500 grand. 500 grand there.
Yeah. Yep. In couple years I've had it, you know what I mean? It hasn't been easy, don't get me wrong, but nothing good's easy, is it? So
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So apart from the shops, any other favourites that stand out?
Well, Woodridge went crazy straight away.
Yeah. You said you had issues, like it was painful, or like you had headaches with it. What sort of headaches did you have along the way?
With Woodridge?
Yeah.
So a woman tripped down the stairs. I bought the property. A woman tripped down the stairs and then tried to sue me. I literally just bought the property. I'm like, I've just bought this property. We haven't even had an inspection.
Yeah.
Anyway, they were drug affected, drugs, grew drugs in the property, and didn't pay rent for ages. And then the insurance company didn't pay up, which was a shame. So that actually cost me money because could have fixed the property up and got it re-rented out, but we're waiting for the insurance company to come through.
Yeah.
So, just mold in so I went there, fixed it up, mold in the property.
Yeah.
Tree in the roof. There's a tree in the roof. Had to cut down a tree and
not a drug plant, was it? You said they were druggers?
There was a drug plant. Yeah.
Really?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, in the living room. They walked in. They were the local druggie. They were local druggie for the complex. So everyone knew.
The one in the roof, the tree in the roof.
Nah, not the one in the roof. Nah. So we cut that down and repainted it and recarpeted it and sold it on. Moved on.
Cool. And any other standouts that you've got so far that sometimes it's the boring ones that are the silent cheapest. Yeah.
I reckon on the Gold Coast got something Kimura. It just had no issues. We bought it near on 10 years ago now. It's tripled. For instance, bought it for $240, rents for $610. The power of time, you know. Just crazy, you know.
Was it one the one in Kimura, was that a 2 or a 3 better?
A 2 better, on a pretty big block of size of land for the complex. So
okay. Yeah. Cool. What's that? I miss those times.
Yeah, it's not easy anymore. Yeah.
No. Cool. Any others that jumping out? Don't you have like a little one that we bought for like 50 grand or something up the coast?
Yeah. So we bought in Mackay. We bought something for $61,000.
Yeah.
and it rented straight away for $350 a week. And now things in the complex sell for over 200. Yeah. So it's crazy, crazy.
There you go.
But we had to buy that at the time to boost the cash flow. My serviceability was struggling, so we had
Yeah.
to buy some cheapies, and
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you reckon's been the biggest challenges along the way? Like, yeah, you got the tenants that are druggy ones or whatever, but
Mm.
that's one out of nearly
Yeah,
20.
no, most
Yeah, yeah,
most most people try and do the right thing,
yeah,
like, because if they don't, well, they get a mark against their name, don't they? They're hard to get
exactly,
another rental. So,
exactly.
yeah,
Would you say it's been servicing? Like you've said a few times now, servicing's
well,
been,
yeah,
yeah,
definitely, probably the biggest thing about getting forward is serviceability. So, if you earn millions of dollars, well, it's not much of an issue. But when you're not, you got to think outside the ballpark. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
yeah,
I see people come to us that have like really good servicing, but they don't think about it. They go, I want shiny object or I want something to do this or that or the next thing, but not realizing that they're hurting their servicing in order to get that object and not thinking the bigger picture.
100%. See, I
Yeah.
bought a couple off the plan apartments over $500,000 back in the day, and that hurt me going forward. And yeah, it's just dumb, but we live and we learn.
You do, and you've come out the other side of that. That's
Mm.
a lot of people don't realize. Like people might be watching the podcast or listening to the podcast, going, "Oh yeah, I've seen off the plan. It's nicer buying a new property." What was the biggest hurdle with those off the plan that you think you've had? Sorry to bring up, yeah, sore
They
points in
just
the journey.
they
Yeah,
didn't really have much dramas with the tenants, but just um, they the cash flow wise, it was negative. Like negative gearing sucks.
yeah,
It just sucks. And when you got
yeah,
two of them negative geared, 15, 20K a year,
yeah,
it it sucks. And then they go down. Then they go down in value 100K,
yeah,
and you hold them for 10 years. Like it's
yeah,
it's not good. It's
yeah, yeah.
hmm,
A lot of people think, oh, when you buy something for 200 grand, it doesn't go up, or 100 grand, or 50 grand. Those things have everything we're running through has gone up doubles, triples. It's yeah,
yeah. I've seen more growth in that low end of the market than at the top end. Like for $1 million property to double to $2 million, it's much harder than a 200 grand property to double to 400. Like I've seen in, we were talking about one that I missed out on. That I tried to get for 95K, and
yeah,
in 12 months it doubled. Like
yeah,
literally, in 12 months it doubled. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
mm,
The one that got away. It's,
yeah.
cool. And was there a moment like when you came to us 10 years ago, were you like the strategy that Nathan's talking about that's going to get us there, or was there a moment where it's like, hang on a second, this is working? Like, was there a point where the penny dropped and it's like, hey, or were you always sort of
100%. The strategy is the number one thing.
yeah,
You you can't build it like everyone talks about trusts and this and that. It's not that's not for everyone. The strategy of buying, say for instance, I think to myself, I buy a 200 grand property, it rents for 350 a week, it's neutral cash flow. Yeah, in 5 years' time, the rent rises $100.
yeah,
If I've got 10 of them, I can retire.
yeah, yeah.
That's that's easy. What's happening with interest rates and all the that happens. But
There's
if you
noise.
buy a property at $200,000, it's neutrally,
Yeah,
and then in 5 years' time, you hold on to for 5 years. If you got
yeah,
enough of them, you can retire.
yeah,
That's the way I see it. So
yeah.
mm,
I feel like you've got the arc is sort of built. Like you've got a good. It's just a little bit of tweaking to really send you out with the cash flow to retire in our Rob. So yeah,
yeah,
I'm excited.
couple block of units, mate, and happy days.
Yeah, we're almost there. We're almost there. When you first started with the properties, do you view the properties different now, like, and what they need to do? Like,
Yeah, they're just a vehicle now. It's
yeah,
no emotion. Like back in the day when I first started, I used to drive past them all the time, you know.
yeah,
But now it's just, yeah, is what it is. It's
yeah,
some properties I haven't seen, so I haven't
yeah,
been to, you know.
yeah,
Some of them, a lot of them I have, because if something maintenance comes up, my my dad can do anything, so I
yeah,
get in the car and let's go fix something up, because, you know, why not?
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, a lot of them I haven't seen though too. So yeah.
yeah. No, that's cool. That's cool. The properties are definitely very different. Like, you're buying new properties off the plan, those sorts of houses, the house
Mm.
next door to the house that you bought. Now you're buying remote places, little cheap places, the drug places. Um, and this clarify with the drug, you had one property. Do you have any other drug type problems or any tenancy issues like in the last 10
Oh
years? Like, you
yeah,
get average things that happen, but yeah.
yeah. My first property I bought, actually, I had chickens living inside the property.
Yeah.
Uh, the mother and son used the same bedroom and shower. Um, um, so it was very interesting. So when we
Was
got
that one
them
in
out.
Tasmania?
Nah,
No.
nah, nah, nah. I don't have one there yet. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Mm,
That was cool. No offense
so,
to anyone from Tasmania, by the
mm,
way.
yeah.
Um,
So,
that was a house, was it, on land?
yeah,
So it was the
yeah,
first one. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. That was a house on land, and yeah,
yeah,
interesting, very interesting. But that's in a better area than, say, Logan. So I think anything can happen anywhere. Yeah, I don't see it buying a you know poor area. You're going to get a worse tenant. I don't think that's the case at all. If anything, I reckon if you buy maybe in a richer area, they're a bit smarter and they might try and scam you. So
yeah.
yeah, I look at it differently. So yeah.
It's funny you say that because I view the same thing. I've got like properties in, 1,000, 1,500 bucks a week rent areas. To a lot of people's shock and horror that they'd hear that I'd say that. And other properties are in like the 300, 400 buck a week areas. And I find that my tenants, like, I've got some tenants that have been with me for 20 years and they're just like so happy to be in my property. I leave them alone, all that. I've got ones that are in more expensive and they're like, I want to get the place painted. I want a new kitchen, and then they become like a professional tenant where they're trying to
Yep.
screw you on something, legality, or yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
100%. Totally
yeah,
agree. Yep.
yeah, yeah. Cool, cool. And like, you started with the houses. Like, there's always this age-old debate out there where people think houses go up more than units. Like, I wish everyone would realize, and people realize, but it's too late. Like, some of our really successful investors, like yourself, go, yeah, I just need the cash flow, I need the property, I need the asset. They're looking at the asset for what it's going to perform for them. But there's so many people, I see it all the time. Oh, units don't go up in value. I feel like I'm on repeat
Mm.
telling everyone the same thing. Houses go up and units don't go up in value. We've got you lots of units and townhouses and villas. What's your experience and thoughts on that now?
As I said, the Mackay property, yeah, I said we bought it in
Yeah,
2022 or 23. It's
yeah,
tripled.
yeah. Tripled in
Like,
3 years or 4 years.
so
Yeah,
you show me a house that's done that. I haven't seen it.
yeah,
Um, the townhouse in Woodridge, well, that tripled and a half in 5 years from a
yeah,
bigger price point. Um, um, yeah, everyone goes, oh, land. Land appreciates, building depreciates, but with inflation,
yeah,
the building is been appreciating because the cost of materials, the labor, the everything like, and
yeah,
that's why you're seeing the cheaper end of the market rise more than the more expensive end of the market, and that's going to continue going forward, I believe. So
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
100%, 100%. We're talking about copper as well. Yeah, the copper in the walls has gone up. Every material's gone up. I have people nowadays saying to me, "Oh, Nathan, I'm thinking of adding a granny flat to my property," and I've never been a big proponent of granny flats. Um, I've built a couple over the years, like more earlier on. One I replaced on a farm style property was like $1,000 a week. I just swapped out of the house. It was like a kit home. But besides that, um, I don't see the value. And I see people telling me nowadays, like, should I spend 250,000 on a granny flat? I'm thinking 250 for a granny flat. I'll buy a block of units for that. I'll buy, you know,
Yeah.
I want a whole property for that. So yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, why not get another asset? You're just devaluing your other asset when you build a granny flat. Like, you build
yeah,
a granny flat on a house, well, then all of a sudden you had a block of land of 600. Now you got a block of land of 400. Like, you're devaluing one
yeah.
asset that you've got to spend 200 on another one to, yeah, you can just buy another asset. Like,
You're
yeah,
taking a family home out of the market.
yeah,
Would You could sell to a first home buyer, they'll fall in love with it and pay you a stupid premium for the price because they want to live in that area or whatever. But instead, you're replacing it with a rental property, which you're only going to be able to sell to an investor later on.
yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
100%,
Yeah.
100%.
Um, how do you view risk nowadays as well, Rob?
Um, a
Do you view it differently or?
little, little bit, I don't think people realise. Say you buy a unit, townhouse, apartment, you pay a strata, and that's your insurance. Like, that's a bit. If the house goes on fire, well, that's
Yeah,
covered. You know what
yeah,
I mean? I don't think people realise that. And yeah, once you start building, it's more about accumulating the assets than anything else. You got to get a hold of as many assets as you can. Like,
yeah, yeah.
um, yeah,
That's where you're traveling along. You're right on track with that. And I guess on that journey, right, like the issues that come up, and I feel like today, like I don't know when I'm going to chat to someone about like where we'll take the podcast to, right? Like I feel like it's cool that you've shared like the tenancy where the tenant tried to screw you over or whatever. Um, has there ever been a point where you've sat there and been like, I don't want to do this, or it's too hard, or you want to give in, or you just like,
uh, yeah, I guess so. But you just got to, you know, just got to keep moving. You can't give up. So
Mhm.
it doesn't, yeah, it doesn't achieve anything giving up, does it? So
Yeah,
yeah,
nah.
you just keep moving forward. Mm.
I think when you get the shits at the property, then you go onto realestate.com and see the equity or the value of it, you're like, oh, it's all right.
Well, every Saturday night I get a notification, like the new realestate.com, it reloads, and I look through all the areas that takes me half an hour to click on, study where I bought and what they're selling for, and yeah, it's the best part of my week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How good's that? How good's
yeah,
that?
yeah.
It's the addiction's real. Like nowadays, like I do, like 'cause I'm always searching and stuff. Always seeing the stock, but some areas will be like, oh, I'm not buying in Coomera today, right? Because it's just stupid price. But then it might be in 6 months, I'll look at it, I'm like, wow, like the value that's just, you haven't had to do anything. It's just, oh, well, it's just sat there and done its thing. Like Woodridge would have surprised the shit out of you, hey? Like,
Oh, crazy! It's gone crazy. It's unbelievable. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
unbelievable. Yeah.
insane, hey? Insane.
Mm.
And at the time, did you tell anyone on your journey that you've been buying properties or any friends or family about, hey, I'm going to go buy a unit in the Gold Coast or a house in
Uh,
Brisbane or that? Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I did. I did.
Yeah.
No, like, none of them at the start said, like, why are you paying someone to buy a property, and
Yeah.
you got that sort of. But if it's hard when someone's not on the same level, I guess it's it just they're just not interested. So a lot
Yeah.
of people never, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Cool. Um, what what would you mentioned before and you want to set your kids up? Is that like what's your view on financial freedom today? Like at the start?
Um,
Yeah.
I just want to be able to, uh, you know, do whatever I want to do. If I want to go out for lunch, go out for lunch. I
Yeah.
don't want, obviously not work. Me and the wife
Yeah.
don't want us to working, and I don't. I want to be able to keep my portfolio for my kids as well. I don't want to, if I can keep pushing and not to sell down, that's
Yeah.
the goal. You know,
Yeah.
keep what I've got and
So
to live, you know, earning, 100K a year, 150K a year sort of thing, just to
yeah.
do, yeah. Don't need a lot of money. Just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'll have another chat with you once we finish the podcast, just about the deal that we're talking about and that
Hmm.
cash flow and what that would look like, because I'd like to run through that
Yeah.
offline. Like obviously, there's all, we've got to keep some stuff offline.
Yep.
But that's cool. So like retention, I see a lot of people, they'll buy a property and they'll get to a point where they go, "Hey, I'm going to retire. I'm going to sell it off. Pay down, whatever." But then it's like, okay, that sounds good, but then you've still got another 50 years to of living plus a legacy that you want to leave on to kids. So very cool that you mentioned that and you're viewing it from that perspective of, I want to retain these assets. If all of your properties paid off today, or they all doubled or something, right? Would there be a point where you're like, "Hey, I'm going to quit my job today," or you'd still keep pushing? Do you think?
Um, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not just one day. One day I will. But just not there yet. So just got to get the mind ready for that. So
Yeah.
not there yet.
There was a thing because Pat from our office, is your contact. I remember him saying something about, was it you that where you had to work more overtime or something? Was that you, Rob? We had to work more
Well,
overtime and
in the journey, I've had to do that
yeah,
to boost the servicing. Yeah, little. But then you have bought certain properties to boost that cash flow, like these
yeah.
sheepies in Cairns and Mackay and that to boost it up,
I,
and then we could go again in borrow more money after that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
yeah. I thought, I'm pretty sure it was yourself, Rob, that where Pat said you were like working and you're like, I've got to do overtime, I've got to do extra hours or something. And then it became a game because it's like, I have to work the extra hours. Now I can unlock a certain level of, was that you, Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Earlier on, a couple of years ago. Yeah.
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 Yeah. But can you share, are you okay to share that? Like what you were thinking at that point? Like,
Oh, just whatever it takes, like,
yeah.
you're short on the servicing and, you've got to do what you got to do to move forward. So, sometimes you got to work extra hours and it is what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And but by doing that, like, is a trip down memory lane. Like, say, I'm just making up a scenario here. Let's say you worked an extra 10 hours a week or something like that, right? And then you look back 6 months later, what did that extra push that you gave, what would that have opened up at that time? Like,
Well,
did that allow you to
that
buy like a specific property or, yeah,
well, like for instance, bought, oh, we'd probably say it now, bought in Darwin 12 months
yeah,
ago, well, 18 months ago. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I don't know if people know it's gone up.
yeah.
I reckon 50%.
What
You
did
know
you
what I
buy
mean?
in Darwin? What was the price? What's it worth now?
252.
Yeah,
Um, and I reckon it's worth 370. I'd be guessing 380.
yeah,
They rent for 510 a week.
yeah. How good's that? How good's that?
Mm. Yeah, it's crazy. The market's so hot. There's no stock in Darwin, so
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy
yeah.
there.
And it did
Uh,
nothing for a decade.
yeah, it did nothing for a decade. I was so keen on Darwin.
Yeah,
So when I got something sent through, I jumped on it. Yeah, I was screaming it to. I got my sister there. I got a workmate there. I was screaming Darwin.
yeah,
So when something come through, I was yeah.
yeah. How good's that? How good's that?
Mm.
Do you feel like each of the properties have bought you a different leg of the journey, looking back?
I guess deep down you got freedom. I guess if shit hit the wall, where others don't, and that's yeah,
You're like,
that's all.
I think what I mean is like, say, Woodridge, at the time it was just a foundation property. It did perfect. It did exactly what we
Mm,
want it to do. Darwin's like a foundation property, even though
mm,
you're still buying that after buying a block of shops. It's
mm,
the shops have, I guess, provided you with more servicing so that you can
mm.
go and buy Darwin and make those moves in between, which is really cool. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
you got to buy everything. You can't keep buying. Well, I don't think buying all commercial deals is the way forward. Like residential has its benefits, as everyone knows, 20%
Yeah,
lending. Like when I bought the shops, I had to buy it cash. Uh,
yeah,
and there's more risk involved in any commercial deal. You couldn't, if it's not rented out, well, then
yeah.
what do you do?
Explain.
You got
Yeah,
all the outgoings are more expensive than a normal residential house too. So it's great when it's rented out, but when it's not rented out, that's your risk. So
yeah. That one in that the shops. I think I always say, what do I always say to you about the shops? I think it's time to.
yes, you think it's time to sell. Yes. But I remortgaged 8 loans, and the shops helped me do that. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I was trying to do. But yeah, it will come a time where we have to offload them too. Yes.
yeah, yeah. That's cool. It's cool. I'm so excited. Like it gets me excited when I do a walk down memory lane and see, oh, that one for 60K, that one for 148. Like there's, I can see windows out of my office here. I'm seeing cars that are worth, Suzuki's
Well,
and Toyotas that are worth more than what you paid. So
it's
it's
crazy,
cool.
isn't it? Crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But they're harder to come by nowadays, though. There's not much out there. Yeah,
yeah.
not much out there under 250 anymore. So, mm.
Not much at all. Not much at all. And finding stuff that the bank's going to be happy to lend on. There's stuff that pops up at 100 or 150, but then you can't get a loan on it, and it's like, well, is that the right thing we should be putting in the portfolio? And
Yeah, is
yeah,
it over 55s? Is it too small? Is it,
Mo, yeah,
yeah. So,
yeah.
yeah.
And talking about buying all these things like 50 grand, 150K, stuff like that. A lot of people think that you got to go and renovate them and do heaps of stuff. Like you said, you've done some repairs and stuff, but like
Mm.
these properties are all things that you bought that are dogs that you need to paint and fix, or are they stuff that, yeah,
No, no, most of them are, I'd say 90% of them were rented out when we bought it. So
yeah,
you just move forward. Yeah, like, um, so sometimes you buy a property, and maybe it's why we can get it cheaper is because it's under rented.
yeah,
So you purchase something and you think to yourself, well, why is it only getting 270 rent? Like when next door's getting 400, So, and then when you put it up, and then you're in front of the game. You know what I mean? Yeah.
that's a good one. Like, what percentage of properties do you think you've increased the rents on within the first year of buying, and what would be the average increase or under rented that they would be? Yeah,
Um, no, every property except for one. I remember we bought one
yeah,
in a regional location,
yeah,
and we bought it for 152, and it rented for 385 straight away. We bought it
yeah,
at that,
yeah,
and that's why I bought it. I was like, geez, that's crazy. I don't think we got right at the bottom of the market. I think it already had taken off, but
yeah,
now it's doing its thing. But yeah, every other one, like Gold Coast, raised the Gold Coast rent in an 18-month period, and this is from the Blink.
yeah,
They told me to raise the rent because that's what the rent was, and I
yeah.
couldn't believe it. So I looked it up, and I'm like, yeah, well, it's true. Like that's what it. We raised it $150. It was $180 in 18 months. So it went
Yeah.
from 430 to 610 in
Yeah,
18 months. That's how hot the rental market was. And
yeah,
this was only 12 months ago, sort of thing, in that
yeah.
period. It just, yeah, crazy, crazy.
How good's that, eh?
So
How
that's
good's that?
10 grand a year.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
That's, it takes me to, I guess, my next question, Rob, is like, how do you feel like people think, okay, I buy 17 properties or whatever, um, and it's going to cost me each week to hold and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to have to skimp and save and not have eat baked beans on toast and tuna cans and rice. How has your lifestyle changed? Has it impacted you positively or negatively? Like, like, does it, if you had them or didn't have them, would you be,
Well, at the start, I used to save every penny. I was
yeah,
the tightest,
yeah,
I had a vision, a goal, but I don't spend much on myself now. Like, you know,
yeah,
but if I want something, I get it. But I don't, yeah, I don't need, you know what I mean?
yeah,
If I've got my drinks, I'm happy, you know?
yeah, yeah, that's cool.
Um, yeah, as I said, negative gearing sucks.
Yeah,
Um, Nowadays, you pretty much have to go neutral. There's not many positive gearing properties, but if you're neutrally geared for, as I said, for 5 years, and that rent rises $100 a week, then you're $100 positive. If you buy 10 of them, you can retire. So I know it's pretty easy when you break it down like that. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Um, hmm.
Cool. And I guess just on the flip side as well, like let's say for instance you were chatting to one of your friends, family, kids, whatnot. What would be some advice that you'd give to someone getting started today on the journey? People sit there and say, "Oh, I can't buy a property for 60 grand," or "I can't buy a property for whatever." What would be the top two or three tips that you leave?
It was strategy. So what's this property going to do for the next property? You know what I mean? So don't go buy a $1 million property.
Yeah,
You're putting too much risk into one deal. You know what I mean? And as I said, it's easier for and there is deals out there for 200, 250. Yes, they're harder to find,
yeah,
but even if it's 300, go to 300 then. And the game's changing a little bit, I guess.
yeah,
But don't put too much. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Buy the deal, move on, try and get the next deal, try and get the next deal, and that's probably the biggest thing. It's the strategy of
yeah,
that. It's better to have two hooks in the ocean than one. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
um, yeah, 100%.
That's that's cool. That's cool. Awesome. And we've talked about where the portfolio's at. Like, we're 16 at the moment, taking a step back, looking at blocks of units. So if we fast forward the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, what do you see your portfolio looking like? What would be the ideal position for you, Rob?
Uh, probably, uh, probably two or three more blocks of units. Well, two or three blocks of units. I don't have any in my portfolio. And then probably a couple um, bread and butter deals. Just a couple more. And yeah, that will probably be enough.
Yeah,
For, yeah, eventually we'll have to buy a bigger home to live in. So yeah, I've got to think about that going forward as well. So
yeah.
yeah.
There you go. Growing family. It's I think when you look at um the house to live in. Like people talk about, oh, gone. I moved from $1 million house to a $2 million house, and I'll
Mhm.
sell off three properties to go and buy it. And it's like, no, you're digging yourself a bigger weight around your ankles. But if if we look at a house and say, I'm just making up numbers here, Rob. You don't have to jump and go, oh, this is my financials, whatever. But just say someone goes, I want to add an extra $1 million or a $500,000 to the expenses. It's going to cost you on $1 million mortgage, 6% interest. There's 60 grand a year, 30 grand if it's 500 grand. Like that has to come from somewhere. You buy a block of units, and that offsets the cash flow. Your tenants in that block of units are going to be paying for that new house for you. So yeah,
100%, 100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, I think definitely very possible to make that happen. If you could add four little normal ones in there and three blocks of units, that'll be like 23 properties, maybe like 35 sets of tenants.
Yep.
That's what was that your goal from the start? Like, did you like it's 10
But
years
just
since we first spoke, but did you have I want
just
10 by 10 years or
just for financial freedom. Yeah,
yeah,
financial freedom. The number is whatever the number. is. Everyone's journey is different. So
Yeah.
That's it.
And I think we can get you there. I think we can get you there. So very, very
Definitely.
comfortably now. So yeah. Awesome, Rob. Well, thanking you for hopping on the podcast, being vulnerable to share, your journey with the rest of the world, and really appreciate. I'm excited to see. I find it cool when I do like an interview or a podcast, and then I'll be talking to someone. They're like, "I want to be like Rob," or "I want to be like Linda," or "I want to be like that kid that you had on," or "I want to be like this kid," or yeah, it means a lot to a lot of people. So yeah.
Hopefully I can inspire just one person would be great.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome, Rob. I appreciate it. Thanks for hopping online today and having the chat. Anything else that you want to add, share, thoughts?
No, all good. Thank you, Nate.
Pleasure, mate. Thanking you. On that note, folks, we'll catch up next Thursday. Appreciate you checking in. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below, and I'll answer them on the following podcast. Make sure to subscribe. Spotify, Google Play, Apple Play, and YouTube. Catch up next week. Bye,
Like
guys.
Bilal said, man, we're stuck in the matrix. This my advice, don't care if you take it. The dollar back to die, soon to be hyperinflated.